Welcome to the Whiskey Cantina. You think it's, that's why. I have the microphone. Welcome to the Whiskey Cantina. I'm Jared.
I'm Ray.
And we are going to take you guys on a whiskey journey with us. We are going to try different whiskeys and bourbons on our channel, different scotches.
We'll do comparisons from time to time. We may end up doing more competitive comparisons if that's something that we feel like doing.
Picking our favorites, obviously. Definitely being objective. We do both know a little bit about whiskey. We obviously drink it. We enjoy it. We can hopefully teach you guys a little bit. We're going to be honest. We're going to be upfront and hopefully have some fun.
First and foremost, we intend to be honest with everything, and hopefully we entertain you guys along the way. And we're going to drink. So, what are we drinking today, Jared?
We are doing a battle of the small batches.
We don't always intend to do multiple bottles on videos. We decided to start off doing that, hopefully to get you guys liking us. We'll see.
So, today we did discuss, possibly just comparison between the three, possibly a battle scenario, if you will. Talking about the different things that we like about all three of these bourbons, the different characteristics and the tasting notes between the three.
Mm-hmm.
But going into it, obviously I've had all three of these. I think Ray has had all three. So we know what they taste like, but we've never done a full in-depth review of them. Nose, palate, finish, really telling you guys what we taste, telling you guys what we like about it.
Frankly, neither one of us have ever tried multiple, whiskeys, bourbons, whatever, back to back to back to compare them as we go too. So I'm excited to do that.
That being said, why don't we try some whiskey?
That's what you're here to see, right? Let's try it. We're starting off with the Jeffersons, which, to be frank, I don't intend to like as much as the other two.
Intend or think?
I intend to hate it. One of the things I don't like about it is the bottle, but I know it's not fair. So we'll see how that affects me going into this.
Bottles are interesting in the bourbon world and the whiskey world, though. I mean, that does determine a lot of people's buying preferences.
Certainly.
Bottles do make a difference. I know when I go to the store and I see a cool bottle, it definitely strikes my interest.
Pique your interest, absolutely. One of the things that I personally want to talk about, and Jared agrees, I believe, is we're going to go over the nose. We're going to go over the palate, and we're going to go over the finish, and I will hit on some of the things that some of the professional reviewers and other pros in general, say that you should be picking up on the nose and on the palate, and I'll compare it to what I'm picking up, and I will be honest with what I pick up, and Jared, I know he agrees, and we're going to be honest about what we're tasting and smelling as we go.
As far as the nose goes on Jefferson's, I definitely get a little bit of sweet. I get a little bit of caramel for sure. It's definitely an interesting, an interesting caramel note.
And I pick up a lot of sweet, a lot more sweet than I anticipated going in, a lot more sweet than when I'm, smelling other whiskeys and bourbons. It's surprising.
I definitely get a little bit of the caramel when I taste it, for sure. It's not inherently sweet. It's almost like a, I don't know, it's almost like a kind of like a caramel vanilla, like you would get in like a coffee creamer or something along those lines.
Yeah, I'm getting corn. I definitely get corn, but it's more sweet corn, almost like a cornbread. That's on the taste, not necessarily on the smell.
Do you get any finish as far as like a burn or an oakiness or anything on the back of your throat?
I don't get as much of a burn as I generally like. It's smooth, which isn't a bad thing.
I'm a fan of smooth when it comes to bourbons. I do like a little bit. I understand what I'm getting into when I'm drinking scotches and whiskeys that are either a higher proof or they've been double oaked or something like that, where they have specifically a stronger burn to them, a stronger wood taste. I am a fan of the smoothness, though. I do like it. People might.
Yeah, I like a little bit more of the burn. Speaking of that, are you oak at least? Are you picking up any wood, any oak at all?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I get the charring of the oak. I can almost smell where it was once resting on some burnt wood, if you will.
I pick up almost no oak or wood personally, and I wonder how associated the oak and the wood tastes are with the burn itself. Now thinking about it, I feel like the two kind of go hand in hand. So what are we gonna try next?
Real quick, just to pass it before I pass it along. just go over some quick little notes. Obviously, Jefferson's very small batch Kentucky bourbon. It's 82.3 proof. It's 41.15% alcohol by volume, so ABV. Interesting for sure. I don't know if you guys have heard, but sourced, as far as sourced bourbon goes, CAD is the company that actually, so it's Kentucky Artisan Distillery is the company that distills this. They do source their bourbons from other distillers, so this is kind of a blend, if you will. If you're familiar with scotches and you're familiar with blends, you would understand a little bit what I'm saying. But it is interesting, being that Elijah Craig is specifically distilled strictly from Elijah Craig, or I should say, Heaven's Hill is the distiller, single and only distiller, and then Four Roses is the single and only distiller for Four Roses.
In your opinion, is it safe to say that this would have a less consistent taste over time, over the years, buying different bottles than these two?
I would assume so, to be completely honest. I think that's because it's sourced, because of the variations, because of the different stuff. You don't know exactly where it's coming from. You don't know exactly all the different finishing notes that they added to it, which Jefferson's or CAD, when they get it, they do finish it in their own barrels. They do add their own finishing notes.
That there will be consistency, it just won't,
exactly,
maybe different over time. It's kind of interesting. It could be, honestly, it could be your favorite 1 year, 5 years later, it could be.
I've never found, personally, with that one, I've never found that many variations as far as taste goes. I mean, where I'm specifically thinking I'm tasting something completely different than I tasted before. But at the same time, yeah, I can see where you're going with that.
Which makes sense. I mean, if they know what they're doing, they're going for a consistent taste over time, and they're going to hit it.
So, Elijah Craig. Elijah Craig. Now, the big difference here is you got 94 proof versus, I believe we said 82.3 proof for the Jeffersons. So a significantly stronger proof on the Elijah Craig. A lot higher percentage of the ABV as well. Elijah Craig is very, very popular. As I said earlier, it's distilled by Heaven Hill. Very famous company. They distill other brands like Henry McKenna. They also, in Larceny. A few others as well, some pretty popular brands that are out there. Heaven Hill is a very famous and well-known distiller in Kentucky. So,
picking up off the nose, I'm hitting. I get hit with a wood up front. I mean, it's a lot more. Is it ethanol? So
that's what you're gonna get from the corn.
Yeah. So I do pick up wood and ethanol a lot more than I did on the Jefferson. I expect to get a lot more of a burn just from the nose alone.
You know what's interesting is you say that, and I expected the same exact thing, being that that's 94 proof versus 82 proof, but I actually get less of a burn right on the nose than I did from the Jeffersons. I have no idea why that would be, but for me specifically, it's weird. Now, that being said, I get a lot more from the top of the glass. From the tip of the glass, I'm getting a lot more floral notes. I'm getting a lot more sweet. When I say sweet now, when I talk about the sweet, it's almost like an actual sweet, like almost like candy sweet, as opposed to the Jeffersons, which is more like dull and milky, like we talked about.
Yeah, I'm not getting that as much, but I mean, I definitely pick up on a little bit of the sweetness, but I'm picking up, again, like I said, a lot more of the oak than I did on the other one. I already went in for the taste a little bit, and I will say right up front, there's a lot more of the burn, which I like.
Definitely more of the definitely more of the burn, definitely more of the oak, definitely more of the wood.
It's interesting, after tasting and then smelling it again, I do pick up on a little bit more of the floral notes. I want to say almost like I don't know, citrus. Hard to put my finger on it.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, it definitely is good. I don't like it as much as the Jefferson, which surprises me because I like the burn generally. It's a little bit flatter than the Jefferson was for me.
I wonder if, try something. Just so you guys know, it's not a crime to add water. It's actually a suggestion when you're drinking either scotch or bourbon.
How much?
Typically people would say, I mean, depending upon how full your glass is, if this is like a half glass, a cap full, start with a cap full, add a second cap full. That's typically the rule of thumb. For myself, if I had a full glass, I would add, I mean, I just did a splash, a tiny, tiny splash. I would add probably a cap full, and I would see how it goes from there. And really all you're doing is you're trying to get the bourbon and the whiskey to your, or the scotch, to your specific taste. You're trying to see where you like it. Again, you got to remember, all of these start out as barrel proof. They go into the barrel, they age, they're cut with water. Therefore, all of these have what lowers the barrel proof down to that 82, that 94 proof, and that percentage of ABV. Water is what's cutting that. So it's not a crime to add water to it. Where you get people that argue over, oh, should I have it neat or should I have it on the rocks? It's really your preference, and it's how you prefer to drink your.
Again, you should enjoy it. At the end of the day, you're the one drinking it. You should enjoy it.
And I've drank with people that definitely don't.
That opens it up on the nose a lot.
It really does. To add to my point, that don't like the taste of stronger, higher proof bourbons. I cut it with a little bit of water. They seem to love it. Eagle Rare is one that comes to mind. It's a 10-year strong bourbon, higher proof, and it's not cheating. You're very right as far as the.
It's so much sweeter.
Yeah. It's definitely a difference on the nose for sure. It does like open it up almost.
Yeah, so much sweeter. I'm picking up more of the caramel now. I would say that I enjoy it a lot better with just that splash of water in there. And the reason I asked how much water is because I've literally seen guys pull out droppers, and I don't personally walk around with a dropper on.
I think that's common in like if you're doing like specific tasting with like scotches and stuff. I've seen that myself where it's very common.
Do you have anything to say about Elijah Craig before we move on?
Ooh. It's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. I think Raymond was talking about any interesting little tidbits, but man, I don't know. I like Jefferson's, don't get me wrong. Going into this, I was definitely a little bit biased. Jefferson's is definitely one that I enjoy, but you know what? I didn't think I would really enjoy the Elijah Craig as much. I feel like I tasted it a while back and I didn't have the best time drinking it, to be completely honest. I didn't enjoy it, but for some reason that was good. Cutting it just with that tiny bit of water really made an impact for me, to be completely honest.
I enjoyed it a lot more when we cut it, but straight out of the bottle, Jefferson's the winner for me. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I definitely agree with that. I definitely agree right now. But I'm not going to lie, you're definitely going to be safe, by all means.
We're going to move on to the Four Roses now, which...
Did you wash out your glass?
I did. Thank you for the reminder. Going into this, I expected this to be my favorite. I expected to enjoy this more. Four Roses is a solid go-to for me.
Notice I poured for Raymond twice,
on it.
And he failed to pour for me.
I refuse.
But I like to be able to control my own pour anyways.
So going right into the nose, I would say the nose is a little bit more flat for me than the other two. I'm not picking up on as many particulars as I did especially on the Jeffersons. On the Jeffersons, I was overwhelmed with the sweetness almost.
Try the sides. I'm not lying when I say, and again, I've watched a couple videos, I've read a couple articles, and just over time, I mean, I really did try this myself, because I don't know if you guys have experienced the same thing, but me and Raymond have talked about this a lot off camera. Tasting bourbons and whiskeys and scotches, it's hard to pick up some of those notes, right? I mean, and that's why we're trying to be honest about what we smell, what we might taste, what it might, what the nose might be to us and the palate, right? But again, if you change your nose placement from the tip of the glass, the top of the glass, and the sides, you really do pick up different sweetnesses. I mean, I feel like you get the ethanol right on the tip at the top. I get more of the sweetness, and then on the sides, it almost changes.
Do me a favor. I'm going to throw something out and tell me if you pick it up. Peanuts. I'm being honest here. Peanuts.
Like
roasted,
a real, like a real
peanuts.
Salted peanut,
Yes.
Like real peanuts, yes. Like
that's wow.
It is weird. It is weird that you say that, and like I can finally like almost materialize like, okay, I'm smelling something, but I can't put my finger on what it is.
Exactly, putting your finger on it. When you get the on the tip of your tongue almost. I'm gonna go in and try. Yes. And I wonder how much, you go in thinking peanuts is the smell. How much does that affect what you taste on the end?
I'll tell you one thing. By far the most oaky for sure for me. I mean, in the back palate when I actually finish it.
Let's see. I'm gonna keep that in mind.
Like almost like you could taste the burn in the wood. When I say burn, I'm talking about the char.
Yeah, I could see it. I definitely get more caramel though. Less of a burn than the Elijah, but not in a negative way. It's really good though. It's solid. For me, the underdog kind of came out on top here. Maybe I'm cutting to the chase too quickly, but man, that Jefferson's really, really surprised me.
Now wait a minute. Are we gonna agree, and were we gonna pick the same one on our first video?
But the Four Roses wins for me.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding. Jefferson, man, all the way. I actually don't expect us to agree on most things, which I think is good.
It's good. We don't. Raymond and I, we drank together for a long time. We are very close, and we do not agree on everything. And when it comes to scotches and bourbons and whiskeys, we do not always agree. But going into this video, I did tell Raymond that Jefferson's is definitely something I like, definitely something I enjoy, something it is my daily drinker, and I think he was going into this thinking specifically, as he mentioned, the Four Roses.
I feel like maybe I'm too brand loyal with certain things. I mean, I certainly have that in my day-to-day life, and maybe that was playing into factor here, but if I'm keeping an open mind, man, the Jefferson knocked it out of the park.
Yeah.
I'm saying it's almost not even close. I mean, I enjoyed all three. This was on the bottom for me. Four Roses was great, but Jefferson, man, was just a tier above.
Yeah, if I was going to go into a store personally, and it's funny, Raymond, I think, Raymond, you said this, so if we were to say like 1, 2, 3 for you, it would be 1, 2, and 3?
Yes.
Okay. For me personally, and this surprises me going in, and I'm not going to lie, I did not have good experiences with Elijah Craig coming into this. I specifically wanted to compare it because it was a small batch Kentucky bourbon. If I really went to the store and I handpicked 3 of those, if I had to go first, yes, I'm going to go with the Jeffersons. Again, I'm just predisposed to this bourbon. I think it's good. Whether it's sourced, I could care less. Whatever Jefferson's is doing or Cat is doing on their finishing notes, I'm all in. Great job.
They know what they're doing.
They do.
Seems like it.
Go with Elijah Craig second, to be honest. I think I shocked myself on that one. I don't know what it is, but I really enjoyed it. And again, I'm not saying Four Roses is bad. I mean, Four Roses is a decent bourbon. It's a well-known bourbon. This is a small batch. I really like Four Roses single barrel. So maybe that is making my decision a little bit tougher. I guess I can't distinguish the two separately.
Interesting. Well, future video then, huh?
1, 2, 3. Raymond, 1, 2, 3.
Yes, absolutely. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. Hopefully, if you tune in next time, we intend to make more of these videos. Please like, please comment, please subscribe. We're welcome to your your comments, your suggestions. This is something we're going to continue to do, whether you like it or not. So give us your opinions on the matter.
Guys, always be safe. Always drink responsibly. We really want to put that out there in our videos. We definitely follow those rules ourselves. So we definitely want to put that out as a little PA.
And our motto is going to be drink safe and drink smart.
All right, guys. We'll see you next time. Make sure you hit that subscribe.